So this is my beloved C-class Mercedes, W203 I think, and terribly reliable. I've had it for 8 years, but one of the fog lamps got smashed, probably by a stray stone recently, and I looked at a whole load of videos on YouTube, but I couldn't find one that looked like mine. All the cars that I've seen on videos have screws that you remove from here and here, where on mine we haven't, but there is a hole here which is for adjusting the angle of the lens when there's a lamp in there. Now I've just removed the lamp, but I thought I'd share this with people because other people must have a similar fitting to mine. Here's my smashed lamp. Now in taking it out, I was feeling behind the wheel arch and I removed a screw from there and a screw from there, both of which were star heads, but I've got star heads in my little set, so that's all right. But the point is, it didn't do any good. In fact, if I'd only looked at the new one, then I'd have seen, now these have sensibly got crossheads where my star screws were, but I can see it all now. And this white thing here is the adjustment for the angle through where you must have to poke a large screwdriver through that hole to adjust the angle at night time at the end of the job. So how did I manage it? I've been putting it off, and I thought, well, I'll let the garage do it at the next MOT, but I've got a day, little to do, sun shining, so I thought I'd do it myself. And as you can see, I've got the wheel off. I don't know if many people suggested getting the wheel off either. Well, I did it all by feel until the very last fastening, which was one of these rusty 8mm hex head self tappers, and I just couldn't get to it. So taking the wheel off and gave me a lot more access, and I was able to pull this plastic inner wheel arch back and go for the final part of the job. There's the hole that the new one's going to fit into, hopefully. So it's not a difficult job, it's just a pain in the neck, and well, I just hope this helps other people to get it done. Now the lamp holder came out of that aperture, obviously, and that was just a quarter turn, so that's pointing down when it's inside the car, so that's downwards, and it's just it's less than a quarter turn, about a third turn. This is quite stiff, but it came off in the end. That plaster injury isn't related to this job, by the way. So now I'm going to put that into here and start to refit the new lamp housing. One last little thing about the fastenings for this. So there are only two. In my case, fairly rusted 8mm head self tappers, which I'm about to refit. And the old housing has rusty marks where these two fasteners lived, and so that's just a double reassurance that I'm putting them back in the right place. I remember that one that's currently at the top of the frame was below the adjuster, which is the white thing we can see there, and the other one is opposite this one. Right, here I go. So luckily, I managed to land that first time. First of all, you can see the nearest one. It's in the upper, and then opposite, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I did the far one first, based on the fact that it's better to do the harder job first, so that you don't get too demoralised. Then you know you've got an easier job after that. So there we are, there it is sitting. I've just done them up hand tight, and now I'm going to get my little wrench on them, tighten them up, connect the cable, and then put the inner wheel arch back together and then the wheel back on. Just a little observation before I connect this up. This is the power into the light, obviously, and it's got, you can feel it, you don't have to be able to see it, but on either side there's a little sort of plastic lever that you push down on either side, so you just squeeze the thing together, and it came off quite easily actually. You can see it's got a rubber seal, so sometimes I expect it could be a little bit of a wiggle required. Anyway, it came off easily enough. Let's get back on. Well, I can do it through the phone screen. There we go. Yeah, nice pleasing click, and I just check that works. The disadvantage of being 60 is that everything is much more of a pain in the neck than it used to be. I really don't like rolling around on the ground anymore, but the advantage of being 60 is that I do remember to check things before putting them all back together. And there we are. It's I probably should have changed the bulb really, but yeah, maybe when I'm 70. So years ago, I used to puzzle about these things. So somebody else's video did help me with that. What I did was I pulled the pin all the way out, just carefully levering it with two screwdrivers, a sharpish one and then a wide-ish blade one. There we go, there's a sharp one. And there's a wider blade one. And just carefully levered it out until I could get a pair of pliers in behind it, and then sort of grabbed hold of it and levered it gently out. And so remarkably, I've managed to remove 1, 2, 3, all 4 of these things without any damage, which certainly is a first for me. I needed that powerful torch, by the way, because the sun is right, well, just in the wrong place. It's behind the garage. Anyway, there's one. So this plastic pulls out once again, just for those who haven't been paying attention at the back. No, I wasn't a teacher. You can see the first hole there, just there. 1, 2, 3, and there's one underneath. And there's also an 8mm self-tapper which goes there, which I've just left on the ground, so remind me where it goes. So find a place for all the fastenings, that's key. And just for anybody who might still be blinded by slight panic about these things, so I've just landed it into the hole with the pin out. It went in fairly easily. Now I just push the pin in. Job done. 3 more. Right, just a last point. There are 3 8mm head hex self-tappers here with wide penny washers, but only one needs to be taken out. This one in the middle. Only this one. There. Not this one. Yeah, not that one. And not that one either. Just the one. Okay, I'm nearly finished now. I'm sure you know how to put a wheel back on, so I'll not bore you with that process. Concerning the wheel, you can see that I've just turned it away from the job, so that I was hoping that I could do it without getting the wheel off. Just in case anybody isn't all that experienced in getting wheels on and off, and I know that people don't need to so much these days. Cars are so much more reliable. But oh, there's a bit of broken glass. Is it? No, it's a bit of my wheel trim. Yeah, get the bolts in, which is a bit of a fight. Then lower the jack till so I wouldn't do this. Lower the jack until the wheel is touching the ground, and then it's held nice and secure for the last nipping up of the bolts. Okay, now about those eggs that need sucking. So it's a 14-year-old car, and I don't think that jack had been used before. I'm not sure if the wheel brace had been used before. I know that has, because I have to give it to the blokes every time they change the tyres. And I don't like to get the gloves dirty, so I let my hands get dirty instead.